I'm here in beautiful Princeton, near Princeton University. Today's topic is immigration. Immigration is a controversial topic, so it'll be interesting to hear the responses I get to my questions. So let's go. Okay, the first question is, what impact do immigrants have on the United States?
Do you want to answer it?
I think they would add more diversity to the society and culture. Yeah.
The impact of immigrants on the United States, including all my grandparents, is that they have made this country the amazing, rich, diverse tapestry that it is.
I think that they have a lot of impact. Where I come from, it's like a migrant worker town, so there's like a lot of orchards, and it's the migrant workers that do all the heavy work, so the labor. And honestly, without it, our town wouldn't be able to function. We also need like the upper level jobs, but we always need people to do those jobs that nobody else wants to do.
I think immigrants have a positive impact on the United States. They contribute greatly to the workforce.
Well, I think they kind of, how do you say it? They kind of like challenge the whole political structure because they come with different values and they have different needs than the rest of the population, and that's needs that the government have to take care of or find a way to take care of.
Very positive. They have added a great deal to our culture, to everything. We are a country of immigrants, really, and we owe a great deal to immigration.
Well, I think they help actually a lot in, try to say, bring in new ideas and ways of doing things.
Immigrants give us people from all over the world to enrich the United States.
I think the United States is often described as a nation of immigrants to some extent, and that's definitely true. Unfortunately, the history of our indigenous people is often overlooked because of the colonization, etc. that occurred, but in some sense that is immigration. I know there's been a lot of talk in the upcoming election about how immigrants coming decreases ability of U.S. jobs, but I don't actually agree with that, because if you look at the statistics, an increase of immigrants coming doesn't mean that more Americans are out of work. In fact, in some ways it improves their prospects of finding work, which we've talked a lot about in my economics class. So.
Okay.
Well, I think immigrants have a huge impact on the U.S. in that they bring a lot of both skilled and unskilled labor to the states that ultimately they help contribute to the economy. So I think in the long run it definitely has a positive impact.
Overwhelmingly positive, I would say. Both documented and undocumented in different parts of the economy.
What should happen to undocumented immigrants already in the country?
I believe that there needs to be some kind of penalty, but also there needs to be some kind of amnesty, because many of those people would not have left where they were born and where their roots were without something that they felt was a really, really good reason. And sometimes I think economics is not always the whole story. And so I think that while we need to encourage legal immigration, and sometimes that means having penalties for illegal immigration, I think that we also need to recognize the really important reasons people leave everything that they know. And so we need to make sure that we're addressing that side of the equation also.
That's a tough question. I think that if they have committed crimes that, and they've obviously had to go to jail or things like that and not doing the things correctly, then they probably should have to go back to their native country. But if they're here and they're only here to work and they're not causing any problems, and they have children, or regardless of whether or not they have children, but they're just here to make a better life, then I think they should be allowed to stay.
Personally, I think if they made the effort to get here and they're not causing any trouble to the United States in any way, they should just be granted their documents and be made legal.
They should definitely be registered, because otherwise they won't really have a life, because they're not even here according to the government.
I think that they should be permitted to apply for citizenship, and that measures should be taken so that they are helped in the process of becoming integrated into society and earn their citizenship papers just the way all citizens of this country who came from other countries were permitted to do over the years.
It's a hard question because I don't think there's one blanket answer. I think it definitely depends on context and circumstances. So I don't have one general overarching, like, this is exactly what should happen, but in general, I support a path to legal citizenship for people already in the country.
That's a good question. I think they should be given sort of a way, like a path to legal citizen, not maybe citizenship or just legal residence in the country, sort of a more official, stable path to achieving that if they've been here for a long time and they've been working. So
I think there needs to be a path to citizenship.
Well, for the most part, undocumented and immigrants within the country have like a life here, settled and whatnot, so they should just be able to stay.
And my last question is, have you heard of the DREAM Act? And if so, what is your opinion on it?
I mean, I would think that if you're born here, you feel American, so you should have a right to be American. But at the same time, you know, I don't know anything about politics or economics, and I don't know like what consequences it might have for the country. But for me personally, I would feel that people should be allowed to be here if they grew up here and they have a life here.
I know like a little bit about it, but from what I understand of it, I think it's a good idea.
I've heard about it briefly. I think that it is a great opportunity for the students who really want it and who are willing to put in the work, because some students really are just here to like learn, and it's not their fault that maybe their parents weren't born and that they were born in another country, and they really are here to just make a better life. So, yeah.
It was a very fine effort, and I was disappointed when it wasn't able to be put into place.
Yes.
And the fact that people are still trying to do it is a very positive thing as I see it.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you for watching my video on immigration. I hope you found it interesting. Stay tuned for my next video. Thanks.